Good morning everyone, and thank you for joining us today on this webinar, 3 Steps to Planning a More Relevant Curriculum. So over the next 30 minutes, I'm aiming to cover the following agenda items. So a brief introduction to EMSI for anybody who is new to us and isn't aware of the work that we do in the sector. The drivers around the need for a more relevant curriculum and what this actually means. The challenges that education providers are currently facing in trying to do this, and the 3 steps that we believe providers can take towards planning a more relevant curriculum using labour market data. So being sure that your curriculum offer benefits your students' employment prospects as well as the local economy is a hard balancing act, yet it's fundamental to your mission, especially with the increasing pressure from government, Ofsted and local employers. It's our aim to give you the local insight into your region that will allow you to fulfil this mission. So it's our mission at EMSI to help people make better decisions relating to the world of work. And we do this by giving providers robust, detailed labour market data to help you understand where you should be focusing your efforts, whether this be within your curriculum planning cycle or engaging with students or employers. So why the need then to adapt your curriculum and ensure it aligns with local employer needs? Further education providers are constantly under pressure by government, Ofsted and employers to develop a provision that is better aligned to the skills needs of local employers, but which is also geared to producing a better employment outcomes for learners. Alongside qualification reforms such as the T-levels and the apprenticeship levy, we saw just recently that the updated Further Education and Skills Inspection Handbook highlighted these exact 2 points. The handbook states that inspectors will consider the extent to which the range and content of the provision is aligned to local and regional priorities, and that learners progress to relevant further learning and employment or self-employment relevant to their career plans or gain promotion at work. So what does success look like for a provider who effectively aligns their provision to local employment demand? From Ofsted's perspective, an outstanding college is said to have a range of provision based on a thorough understanding and analysis of local and national economic contexts. On the other hand, an inadequate college is one that has a provision that does not equip learners with the skills, knowledge or understanding they need to enable them to progress to their next steps. So 2 completely different sides of the coin there. So this brings us on to the 3 steps that we believe will help a provider to achieve a meaningful, relevant curriculum that Ofsted are happy with, that meets employer needs, but above all, helps learners to achieve a successful employment outcome. In step 1, we will show you how you can review your current provision against regional employer demand to identify areas of current alignment, misalignment and potential opportunities for new courses. In step 2, we'll demonstrate how you can dig deeper into specific course areas to evaluate demand for their related occupations and industries. And in the 3rd and final step, we will explore how your organisation can better understand the skills components of your courses and how you can then use this to make a business case for amending existing courses or developing new ones. So how can we do this? Step 1 is all about reviewing your existing provision. So a good place to start is by looking at your current curriculum and establishing how much it serves the needs of your learners and local employers. To do this, we need to compare your existing offer with the related demand in your local area. So there's a few things that we need to do this. first thing is the number of course completions in each subject area for a given year that you offer. Secondly, we then need to make the connection between these courses and their related jobs, which we can do by mapping them to the related SOC codes that they train for. And thirdly, we need to know the number of annual openings in those associated occupations within your region. Once we have the provider's completions data, and we've done that mapping process, we can then compare various points of our local labour market data against these completion numbers. And this allows us to identify areas demonstrating both over and under supply. So let's have a look at an example then. So on this slide, this example shows annual openings and course completion numbers in 5 different subject areas. And what this then does for us is demonstrate both over and under supply of this provision within a college academic year. So the green bars on both graphs show the number of course completions, and the blue bars on each graph show the number of annual job openings in the local area for that chosen academic year. So we can see engineering is demonstrating a huge oversupply in this region, in this course in particular, with 2,517 completers in this given year, whereas there's only 637 annual openings. And then if we look at the bottom graph, we've got huge undersupply in administration and marketing and sales. So if we look at the top bar, this course offering has 53 completers a year, whereas there is near on 4,000 annual openings per year. What this mapping exercise can also do is allow a college to identify areas where they currently have no course completions in areas where there's actually annual opening figures which are significant. So this gives the college a list of potential areas for course development. What this graph shows us is in this region, there's a significant growth in these top 10 occupations, particularly the top 3. We've got public services, road transport and retail management occupations on the highest growth, near to the thousands per annual openings. So that means that the college could easily create courses to meet that growth within the region. So having looked at the curriculum as a whole, identifying areas of oversupply, undersupply, and even areas of high demand where there's no provision, we can now take a deeper dive into individual course areas in order to get a better sense of how they map to your regional labour market and basically bring that course and career connection to life. So this is both useful for helping us to understand the actual occupations that those courses are connected to, but also the industries that they're employed in. If we take the engineering subject area, for example, we can begin to pick out some of the data connected to those 26 occupations that we've mapped to that subject area. So as well as projected job growth and median hourly wages for those occupations within the region that you can see at the top, we can also compare growth in one region compared to another. So the chart on this slide at the bottom shows the projected job growth for engineering occupations from the years 2017 to 2022, and the region that we've chosen is Leeds. So we've compared Leeds to 3 other cities in the region, Sheffield, Bradford and Hull, and also to the government office region, which is Yorkshire and Humber, and the nation as a whole. So what this graph basically tells us, as you can see, in this particular occupation, Leeds is expected to see the highest growth within all of those areas, with almost 4% growth. If we compare this to the Yorkshire and Humber region as a whole, they were only seeing 2.57% growth. So what this immediately does then is tell us that this area has a specific specialised need for engineering, and that the college could definitely tap into this. Alongside the insight on the previous slide, we can also dig into the actual occupations that are connected within the course area, and then also the industries that they relate to. So here's a list of the top 10 occupations related to the engineering course area in Leeds. This is in terms of job numbers in 2017. So the fastest growing jobs within that course area in the Leeds City region. We can also see within the little bubbles, we've got the projected annual openings and also the job growth from 2017 to 2022 within those regions. So again, connecting those course areas and specific courses to the careers that they actually train for. This gives us a really good insight of the type of jobs that people are doing. But what it also does is it shows the employer demand for them and the sectors that need them. So this is all valuable information for not only course planning, but building a business case for new courses. And then it takes it one step further into employer engagement activity. So just looking at the occupations is useful, but then also relating those occupations back to the industries that they sit within is great for knowing what types of industries you need to focus on contacting within your region. So the third and final step is identifying skills and building a business case. So we've seen a notable shift in how employers view employees recently, with skills taking a far more prominent place in the hiring process than the traditional qualifications or job titles. So this is important to providers when developing new and aligning existing provision. So in this step, we will look at how skills demand can be identified and used to build a business case for developing new courses. So instead of looking at the traditional SOC codes related to the engineering sector, as we've done up to now, we'll actually now shift to job postings data, as this gives us some great insight into what employers are actually looking for, particularly in regards to skills rather than just SOC codes or job titles. So we've got two graphs on this slide. We've got the top 10 occupations and the top 10 job titles connected with the engineering course area that employers in Leeds have been looking for. And we've taken a 12-month period here. So our job postings data is updated monthly. But what this does is give us an overview of what employers have been looking to hire over the last 12 months. So as far as occupations are concerned, we can see a significant demand for IT business analysts, architects and system designers. That's the top blue bar with 2,257 unique job postings. So unique is individual job postings. We take out all duplicates. So it gives you a real sense of the job market. And then as far as job titles are concerned, the bottom graph, the purple bars, we can see maintenance engineers have seen a particularly high demand with 382 unique job postings in the last year. So basically what our labour market tool allows us to do is to map all traditional SOC codes to the job titles that employers are searching for, making the connection between employers and providers even stronger in terms of understanding those skills needs. So the next thing we can do and take from job postings data is both hard and soft skills within occupations. Identifying occupations and job titles gives us a good sense of what roles employers are looking for, but it doesn't necessarily tell us what skills these roles require. So the two graphs on this slide show us exactly that. We've got one graph in which we've pulled out the top 10 hard skills. So this is the green bars. This is basically the top 10 hard skills that employers say they are looking for according to the number of postings that have these skills. So unsurprisingly, we can see engineering at the top, but what we can also see is some that wouldn't necessarily come to mind immediately. such as infrastructure, management and architecture. Then the top graph gives us soft skills. So the same information in terms of employer needs for soft skills. Again, this gives us really valuable data when looking to develop curriculum content and also when supporting learners into employment. This data can be used in CV writing or interview skills. But by knowing exactly what local employers are looking for, you can basically tailor your offer immediately. And learners can also promote the relevant skills they have to show how they meet those employer needs. So having looked at job titles that employers are looking for, then the hard and soft skills that employers require within those jobs, job postings data can tell us another really useful bit of information, which is exactly who are the companies looking to fill these positions. Here we have the top 10 companies looking to recruit engineering occupations in the Leeds City region in the last year. So we've looked at that engineering course area. We've pulled out the occupations that they typically train for. And then what we've done is looked at the top 10 companies looking to recruit those occupations within the last year. So what this basically does then is take us beyond curriculum planning and course design when we're able to pick out the actual positions that William Hill, for example, are hiring for. So the data tells us that in the last 3 job postings they put out, these were for an integration solution architect, a cloud architect, and also a cloud engineer architect. So with job postings data being able to tell us this and being updated monthly, this then takes us into the realm of employer engagement rather than just curriculum planning, as this data is not only crucial to building a strong business case for new courses, but it gives providers the intelligence to begin an informed conversation with employers around how you as an organisation can fill these positions. So to summarise then, the insight and ideas we've presented within this webinar are ultimately about building a business case for aligning existing and adding new provision based on local employer demand. So ultimately, we're answering 3 key questions. Why do we need to reduce this certain provision? Why should we develop these courses? And also, why are we thinking about including these skills elements within this course? The answer to all of these 3 questions is simply because the data is telling us that that's what our local employers need. By following these steps we've outlined, hopefully we've shown how providers will have the confidence to make important curriculum decisions that will make provision more relevant in the knowledge that you're basing these on the best insight about your region. So everything we've looked at today has been put into a tool to help you do exactly that. So we've developed a new tool called Course Vision, which is designed to help you develop a more relevant offer that is aligned to the skills that employers really need within your region. So combining traditional granular labour market data with job postings data, as we've seen today, the tool has an easy to use workflow that contains 3 key reports. So the first report is a curriculum overview, which allows providers to upload completions data. Then this data is compared to regional job openings to show areas of oversupply, undersupply, and then the potential for new courses, which we looked at in step 1. The course area snapshot then allows you to drill into a particular course area to find out more detailed labour market data on the occupations and also the industries that it's connected to. So this was all about step 2. The business case is the last report, which, as we've explained, allows you to deep dive into the skills needs of employers within your region. This can then be used to build a strong business case for developing new courses, changing and adding to existing provision, but also confidently engaging with employers. And this is everything that we looked at in step 3. So the next webinar will be a course vision demo completely. So look out for this, and the date for that will be the 17th of October. So that's next Wednesday, I believe. In the meantime, do get in touch. My contact details are on the slide. drop me an email, give me a call, and I would be happy to walk you through the tool in a bit more detail. We can have a look at some of the data that we've looked at today, but also have a bit more of a kind of practical walk through the tool. Just in general, we'd love to hear from you. Challenges, kind of problems that you're facing, and discuss how we may be able to support through labour market data. Thanks for listening today, and I hope to hear from you all soon.